Hi, and welcome to Craft Along with Jay. My name is Yetta, and I am so happy you could join me today. Today it's another fun one. It's the Calendar Girls collaborations. Now, the original host, Jessica from The Busy Housewife, was not able to make it this month, and I was asked to host with my friend Tiffany from Simply Blessed Crafts. And don't forget, when you're done with this video, go down in the description box and check out the playlist. The theme for this month is um, Christmas in July. So this is so much fun. All right, project number one. I got this wood square from the Dollar Tree while it was still $1.25. You know, the prices are gone up. But I had gotten myself a little stash before it went up. And I also got this calendar, the new calendar from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to use that little Christmas picture, but I'm going to use the big picture from inside the calendar. And then also I'm going to use these two scrapbook paper um, from Hobby Lobby. They're 69 cents each, but I got them for 40% off. And I am going to glue them together back to back. Excuse me. My allergies have been acting up lately. And I'm going to put glue on the back side of one paper and glue the other paper on top. Don't forget back to back. That way when you flip it over, you'll see the other front side. Like so. Yep, just like that. And then here I'm trying to figure it out as I'm going along here how to do this, but I find the middle point of my paper and then I'm just drawing some lines out to each corner, and then I'm also finding the middle in between that and going down. And you want to make sure you don't make a line all the way down to the edge. And then I'm taking my X-Acto knife and I'm gonna cut along the lines so there's still a little line left at the bottom. So it's sort of like the busted canvas, except for it's not a canvas, it's the busted scrapbook paper that I'm doing here. So you know, not to cut it all the way down to the bottom. And I'm just very carefully following the line until I got it cut through. There's two layers of paper I got to cut through. And here's the other one. Little little snug at the top here, but we'll get that done. Like so. And you just curl it back a little bit and then add a dab of glue, hot glue. And then I'll just press it down. And just for a little extra security while it's drying, I end up also putting a clamp on there. Well, I think I do. Yeah, I do. And then I just keep going all the way around, just cutting along the lines and folding it back, adding a dab of glue, um, and then using the clamp to hold it back. And here I was kind of contemplating doing the whole side like that, but I was like, yeah, no, that's not going to work for me. So I'm going to cut that in half as well, and then fold it back, add a dab of glue, add the clamp, and we keep going all the way around. So it's a busted scrapbook paper. A different way of doing it. But I really like how it turned out. And then you can make it any size that you want to. Well, depending on the size of your paper, of course, but you know, not the size of the canvas. And then I'm taking my square wood board and I'm going to add some Elmer's glue to it. And then I'm going to put my farmhouse picture down. Red truck, a barn. And I'm just kind of trimming along the edges. That was a slight overhang. And then I'm going to put my Christmas paper on top. And then I'm just, to make sure it fits, and then I'm just taking my Elmer's glue again, and I'm just going to run around the edges all the way around of the picture, as you see right here. And then I'll add my busted scrapbook paper on top. And then I'm just adding some clamps to hold it in place. And then I found these little snowflakes. It came in a pack with some pine cones, so it's probably some bowl filler that I got from somewhere. I'm not sure where. And I just added one in each corner, like so, just to give it a little extra embellishment. I like how it turned out. Gotta let me know what you think about this as well. And then I just put the little jute twine back in as a hanger, and that's it for this one. Okay, project number two. I got this little fall um, coffee cup thingy from the Dollar Tree some years ago. And I'm just going to take all the paper off and then I spritzed it with some water, let it sit for a while, and then I'm just going to use this paint scraper and just kind of scrape it all off. And then I'm just going to dry it before I start painting. Before that, I am taking my pencil and I'm going to make some lines where the sleeve for the cup is. And it's a little bit curved on the top and the bottom. And then I'm also, this step you can kind of skip until later. I just kind of made the lines for where the lid is, but I end up painting over it, so it doesn't really matter at this point. And then the sleeve itself, I am going to paint with Waverly's chalk paint in the color Plaster. And I'm just carefully going along the line here, not to go over, just to give it some definition. And I'm ending up doing the front, and I'm also doing the sides. And I'm going to do 2 coats total, just to give it a nice full coverage. And then I'm going to do cardinal red, and I'm also doing 2 coats of this one, and I'm going to do the bottom part of the cup, well, the cup itself really, except for the lid. It's probably the easiest way to explain that. So this is the bottom of my cup, and I'm also doing the sides with this color. I hadn't done the back part yet, but as I was editing and watching the end of it, I'm gonna go back in and do the back. I think it needs all the way coverage all the way through. So I'm gonna paint the back part red and also follow the white sleeve around to the back part to give it a complete finished look. So that's a goal for myself to go in and fix that part. But here I'm just doing the front and also the sides. And I'm just using a very fine tip brush to go along the lines here. That's the easiest way not to go over too much. And you can go in and, if you do, you can go in and fix it a little bit with some more paint with that color. And then once I've done with that, I am going to dry it just a little bit. And then I'm also using the plaster. And here's what I'm trying to follow the lines of my lid, but then I realize it's not going to matter. So I'm going to do the whole lid white. And you'll see here what I mean with the next step a little bit later. And I'm still using a fine tip brush to go along the line. And I'm still doing the top and the sides as well. And then once I'm done with that, I'm gonna put it to the side and let it dry. While that's drying, I am gonna cut that one out. Joy to the world. And it's from one of the new calendars as well from the Dollar Tree. And I'm gonna use some Elmer's stick glue here, and I'm gonna add glue to the back of that piece of paper, and I'm gonna glue that to the sleeve of my coffee cup, like so. And then I'm going to take silver lining, and this is where we're going to give the lid some definition. So that's what I was saying. It was kind of hard to do that when I was painting it. Realize I can just do it on top. It's so much easier. And I'm just freehanding it this time. I didn't need any lines. And it's just to give it a little definition. And that's what it looks like. And here I'm going to take, I had some scrap pieces of jute twine, and I'm just going to go along the lines of where the paint colors differ. So sort of to give the sleeve a little definition as well. I'm doing the top and also the bottom and the top. And let it go around the side as well. And then just a little bit to the back side. Just enough to kind of fold it around. And then I do it at the top as well. And also do it just a little bit to the back. Like so. And then I just made a little shoelace bow. And I'm glued that to the top and then cut the tails down a little bit. And that's what it looks like. Very simple, but I like how it turned out. Oh, no, I'm not done. I thought I was done. But I'm using this bark brown and I'm just going to distress it a little bit. Do a little bit along the edges and then across. Just to give it a little bit more of a rustic look, farmhouse look. Except for I'm not doing the lid. I felt like the lid needed to stay crisp and clean because that's what you drink out of. But just on the sleeve in the picture, I think it looks really super nice. There we go. Now I'm done for real. Project number 3. I got this little wood crate from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to paint that with antique green. Excuse me. And while that's drying, I'm going to cut that little picture out. And then I decided to take that red snowflake trim right there from the inside page. Just that trim. And then I'm going to start with gluing the picture on the front of my little box on my wood crate. And I'm just using Elmer's glue again. Just get that right there in the middle. And then I had some glue on my fingers, so I kind of using the side of my pinky finger there to press it down. And then I'm cutting this trim to size. It won't fit all the way around, but it will on that little part of the front and then on the side of the crate. And that's what I'm going to glue down. I'm going to line it up close to that picture and then just wrap it around. Yep, just like so. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Just wiping it off a little bit because I had glue all over my fingers. And then we'll go around the other side as well. I'm just using my paper towel piece here and just pressing it down. I figured that was the easiest way instead of doing it with glue on my fingers. So that's what my little crate looks like. Then I just added some floral foam in there, and I had these Christmas picks, excuse me, from last year, the year before, and I'm just cutting them down to size, and then I'm just arranging them inside the floral foam in my crate like that. And I had taken some reindeer moss out to cover the floral foam, but it's not needed because you cannot see. I get this packed in pretty well that you can't see any of the floral foam at all, so that's not necessary. Not just arranging it the way I like it. Some poinsettias, some pine cones, and some berries and stuff. that's it. Pretty simple, but very, very cute. Let me know what you think about this one as well. Okay, the last project for today, project number 4. Now I'm going to use this big page from the calendar, and this I'm going to use this canvas. It's an 8 by 10. I'm not going to use the smaller ones that's on my table. I was playing around with it thinking I was going to, but I decided against it. And I'm just going to lay it down here on my calendar page, and I just covered the word Merry Christmas and then up to get the poinsettias and anything else in between. And I just trace that and then cut it out and then making sure it fits on my canvas. And once I'm happy with that, I am going to take my Elmer's glue stick again and I'm going to cover the whole back side of the calendar picture and add it to my canvas. And then just press it down, get a good fit. Then I got this burlap piece. It was just a random piece, and I decided to use the seam of it on the top part of the picture to give it a little bit of an edge and a border around it. So I'm going to go all the way across at the bottom, just with the seam on top, and then we'll kind of wrap it around so it covers the side and onto the back part, just to give it a nice clean look. So here we're just working across the front first, and then we'll cut it to size. And then I'm just doing the side part, the wider part, pressing it down. And then I'm going to cut that down as well. And then I'll give it a little some glue on the back part, just so it's kind of wrapped around. And that's how it looks like when it's all done. I like how it looks. And then I got this baker's twine, red and white. And I'm just going to do a finger bow, wrap it around my finger, I think like 5 times. And then I'll cut the string, and then I'm just going to wrap it around and tie it off. Just like so. And I'm going to glue that up here to the corner. And I like how they all kind of turned out kind of farmhousey, rustic looking. Very like, I don't know. Kind of brings back memories from my childhood. Kind of, yeah, I'm that old. And then I just added some tumbling tile blocks to the back so I could the canvas would stand up. And let's take a look at all of them. They all finished. Let me know what you think. I want to thank you so much for staying all the way to the end of the video with me today. I really truly appreciate it. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe, like, and comment and share my video. It would really help me out. And don't forget to check out the playlist down in my description box. Until next time.